So in today's video, we're going to get into the psychology of mind-body medicine, the why of the mind. Why does the mind find it necessary to create and produce physical symptoms of all types? The most common being chronic pain, but also something that's gastrointestinal related, something that's skin related, something that is immune system related. So the underlying reason, the fundamental reason why the mind finds it necessary to produce these symptoms is to protect you. And one might wonder, like, what does that mean? I'm going through chronic pain in my neck, in my knee. I have insomnia. I have chronic fatigue. I have dizziness. I have headaches. I have migraines. I have skin-related problems. I have chronic constipation. And my mind is giving this to me to protect me. Really. My life couldn't be any more debilitating, and somehow my mind does this to protect me. Like, what does that even mean? So with the following example, we're going to try to shed some light and understanding on this topic. So you take a child, in his childhood years, let's say he gets made fun of in class, he gets picked on, he gets bullied. On top of that, he has a home where his parents are constantly fighting, a lot of chaos. They end up getting divorced later on in his teen years. He grows up. He's very academically serious and he takes it seriously. He studies hard. He's a perfectionist. He's very conscientious. He gets even older, 18, 19. He gets a job. He realizes the responsibilities of life and all the pressures of life and so on. So what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, in his early 20s, he develops chronic leg pain, chronic back pain, let's say. And he wonders, what is going on? I go to doctors, and they can't figure out what's going on. Takes all the MRIs, takes the CT scans. They can't figure it out. So what's happening here? The mind has created chronic low back pain. Now, in another video, we're going to get into how the mind actually achieves this. But the mind creates chronic low back pain. Why? Because the mind has been watching, the unconscious realm of the mind has been watching this person throughout his life. And he's been seeing that this person has been taking on a lot of, let's say you call it unconscious stress, of anger, of pain. All the things that we just mentioned, and these are only the biggest things. There's a lot of other things that go on in a person's life that are more subtle that we don't even really notice, that goes on unconsciously. And the mind sees this, and the mind says, you know what? There is too much unconscious pain, too much unconscious rage, too much unconscious shame, or whatever other negative emotions, but the two basic ones, the two biggest ones are rage and pain. And the mind makes a decision that we have to distract this person. So we have to protect them by way of distraction so that these negative emotions never get out to the forefront. It never surfaces to the level of consciousness. So how do we do this? How do we distract this person? How do we protect him? We give him physical symptoms. And that is the why. This is the whole meat and potatoes of mind-body medicine, that the reason why we have physical symptoms is not due to a structural abnormality. It's not due to some physical malfunction. The real underlying reason, assuming it's chronic and assuming doctors can't figure out what this is, we can safely assume that the reason why you have these physical chronic symptoms is because the mind is trying to protect you by way of distraction and putting all the focus on the physical realm, nothing to do in the deeply unconscious emotional realm. And that is the reason why you're having symptoms. And in future videos, we're going to get into how the mind actually achieves this. How does the mind bring about these physical symptoms? How does it actually do it?